I'm here with mixed media jewelry artist Jen Cushman, and Jen has brought the most gorgeous mixed media bracelets. And actually, I was going to say, this may look like several different bracelets, but guess what? It's actually one very long bracelet, which just wraps around, right?
It does. I call this my boho style. I just put this around and check that out, baby. You hook that into the end.
And
boom. You have got it on.
And I was going to say, you're going to teach us today how to make all of the elements for this bracelet, which of course can be used to make a variety of other jewelry or just mixed media projects in general.
Absolutely. Once you learn these techniques, people think that you have to do this in jewelry, but you know what? If you're an assemblage artist, you can use these links and wraps and hang them from stuff. You can put them in canvases. Like, really, there's a lot to these elements.
So let's get started.
Okay, so basically what I'm starting with is I'm starting with metal stamped, you know, just sheet metal like we did in last season,
I remember.
Right? So yeah, so we have that in last season, but really I showed you how to do the stamping, didn't show you how to fix it. So basically here is some copper sheet that we have gone ahead and stamped a word with. And for jewelry, one of the things you need to worry about.
I was gonna say, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for my scissors that got taken
snips.
away.
I was gonna say, I know where they are.
Yeah,
they're right here.
So my little snips happened in there.
There you go.
All right, thanks. So basically, you do need your snips because if you're doing assemblage and other pieces, you don't need to worry about these pokey corners. Jewelry, you don't want anything to be pokey. So what you want to do is you just want to cut.
And obviously protect your eyes,
protect
look
your
away,
eyes. And did you see
safety glasses.
You totally ran from me.
Away.
You're like scared of me. And look, I even put my hand over it.
You did.
Girlfriend,
safety
I got
first.
safety down. So you just want to snip those edges off. So then you've got that, right? But that looks a little ugly for jewelry. So you need to take your file and you just need to round those edges nice and pretty so it's not pokey, okay? No pokies, right?
So once it's all nice and smooth, this is not the same color as this.
It is not. You are so sharp. You got such good eyes. So basically you have to patina this, right? You put this in a patina solution. You put it in here and it's nice and dark like this. And then what you want to do is you just want to take it and I'm going to move that right here so we can sand it. I'm going to take my little kitchen scrubby and I'm just going to scrub it right off.
Oh my gosh, it goes back to copper except in the lower part, so it's like, and it looks beautiful and distressed.
So, and then you can take it to just give it more shine and highlight. Just take your
some steel wool.
Steel wool, and then that's going to give it that extra shine.
That's
Again,
awesome.
if you want that hand hammered look in there, you're just going to take your ball part of your
ball peen hammer,
and you're going to get yourself those little divots in there.
And I know you've got this cool tool for punching holes, which is exactly how you got those little holes.
Yeah,
on
because
there.
you got to attach, right? Like this stuff doesn't happen unless you've got connection going on. So in order to do the connection, you're going to take this and you're going to punch. I'll show you right here with this one. You're just going to take it and it
punches on through.
It punches right through. And again, what gauge copper is this one, Julie? Do you remember? Oh, it's
26?
a full season ago. 26 gauge copper.
Nice and thin. And
nice and thin.
Now, when we move on to the wire part of this, is there any particular gauge that we're using for this next step?
So usually if I'm going to be doing wire wrapping and for jewelry, I'm using 20 gauge wire, 22 if I want it to be nice and thin. Making a clasp is 16, okay? But here's the cool thing. Remember from last season I said that you can buy pre-purchased head pins, or I think you said it, but you can actually just take wire and you can make head pins, and you get to use fire.
Okay, so I'm going to give you these safety glasses because there is fire.
I know, fire, so you put the safety glasses on. So I am going to turn on the torch now, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so you turn on the torch, you make sure you put that there for the
to keep that flame going, I was going to say.
Now I'm going to pick up the wire with my pliers, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it into the flame.
And you're putting it into a specific part of the flame, right?
It does. You've got to put it right at the cone of the flame. You
Oh,
can see how quickly it goes.
Yeah.
Oops. And actually, you don't want to leave it that long because you see how I did that? It actually goes so incredibly quickly. Let me show you really quick again because it goes so fast, right? If you have it in the right spot.
It just goes right at the tip of that bluest part of the flame. It goes red hot, zoom, 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 zoom. I can see the ball forming, and boom, into some water right away.
Into the water, and then you go ahead and you turn this off.
Okay, and once you've done that, now you have all these fantastic wires that you've made to use for stringing, and what a beautiful collection of beads.
Yeah, so the great thing that I love about these kind of boho wrap bracelets that you have is you can use up all your onesie-twosie beads.
One of the parts that I love so much about your magical bracelets is the fabric element that I think really makes it super mixed media. Will you show us how that works?
Absolutely. So again, these things can be used for other things other than jewelry. But what you want to do is you want to take a grouping of ribbon, and you want to cut it to size, and then what you want to do is tie a knot in either end, right? Once you tie a knot into it, you want to take your head pin that you have just made. Again, you can use pre-purchased head pins, but you don't get to use the torch, right?
And I was going to say also something in a high gauge, obviously, so it's a little more flexible, because I know you like to bend wire by hand like I do.
Exactly. So once you thread that through the knot, then what you can do is you can just go ahead and you can wrap this around with your hands or with your pliers, and you want to squish that down. You know, that's a technical jewelry term, is squishing.
I'm glad to know I'm a jeweler already.
I'm telling you, it is like one of those things. So then once you have that, you've got a nice connection going on. You can take one of your bead caps, put that on top of that. That's going to give you a really pretty closure to it. Now I switched over to my looping pliers, my round nose pliers, because I'm going to make the loop. And the way I make a loop is I turn it.
I was going to say a loop is how you attach anything to anything.
Absolutely. And a loop is, you can use a loop. You can put these together for jewelry. You can string them the way we wanted. Again, you can hang them. You can, you know, you can make a sculpture, and then you can loop together a heart on a piece of wire and hang in the middle of the chest.
So now, the way that you're looping, would I just do that with the ones that I have here? Would I use the same exact process? So that what I'm going to have then is a bunch of elements that are beads with loops at both end, fabric with loops at both end, obviously metal stamped pieces with loops at both end, but obviously I need a clasp, and that's our last element.
Exactly. So making a clasp is a whole lot of fun. Again, it starts with a piece of wire. So what you want to cut here, this one needs to be a 16 gauge because you want a little bit of heft to it, a little bit of weight. You want to cut your piece of wire, and you want to just start with the end. And so we make that little paddle again, but you just start it there. And then you want to take your round nose pliers on the paddling in the end, and you just want to take that and roll that to give you that little P shape, right? Once you have that, now you can take some mandrel pliers.
I have never seen mandrel pliers before. I have to tell you, I always use a pen from my desk to wrap it around, but this is much smarter.
Well, and the thing is, the pen works really well if you're not making 30 of them. But I can tell you, if you're going to go into jewelry making, this is much better on your wrist and a lot more ergonomic, right? I was saying economical, but ergonomic. So then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and you want to cut off the extra there with your snips or with your whatever you have that's going on, your flush cutters, all that kind of stuff. Now what you want to do is you want to take the end of this, and then you just want to roll that up. And then you've created just a beautiful shepherd's hook clasp.
It is.
Now here's the secret though, right? If you, because you've used wire for this.
I was going to say, work hard in it.
Got to work hard in it. Girl, you are jewelry all the way around. Look at you. She is like painter, jewelry extraordinary.
Jewelry was my first love. That's how I got into crafting, actually.
I know. So you got to work hard in it, because work hardening it's going to make it so it doesn't rip.
So it
when
keeps
you put
that
it
shape.
on.
And if we look back at some of the finished pieces that you have here, we can see all of those elements that we've learned to create. We've created the stamped words. We've created the beaded elements. We've created the fabric bits. We've created even these beautiful clasps. So now you are ready to create everything that you need to make fantastic mixed media jewelry or art wherever you go. Thanks so much, Jen.
You are so welcome.